Hey there, Nova students. Are you wondering what classes you should be taking for your upcoming semester or what you need to graduate from Nova? Well, you have the tool right here on SIS ready for you to use. So today we're going to talk about SIS Fluid's advisement report. So how to reach that report on SIS Fluid, and then also how to interpret the information that's on the report. My name is Randy. I'm one of the academic advisors and virtual advisors here at Nova. And I have with me Elizabeth, who is another virtual advisor here at Nova. So today we're going to walk you through it. So if you're on your main SIS homepage, you're going to click Academic Records and Progress. So the first thing you're going to see is this little pie chart. I recommend you ignore the pie chart because the pie chart is not just taking into account your degree requirements, but it's also taking into account some other things. And so it's not necessarily accurate as far as how much you have completed. On the left-hand side, though, we do see some really important things. One thing to note is that you have the ability to view your unofficial transcript. So if you just want to look at a summary of all the classes you've taken, you can click your unofficial transcript. If you want to look at how your degree or how your classes will fit into a different degree, you can click the What If report and then pull up any NOVA program. But today we're going to talk about my academic requirements. So we're going to click on my academic requirements. And that's going to pull up what we call your advisement report. Now you can look at this information just here by opening up those tabs under the under your program of study, but we like to look at it as a PDF because it's just for us easier to read, and I think you might find that it's easier for you to read as well. So Elizabeth's going to click it to a PDF, and then we're going to pull up her advisement report. Awesome. So when we look at our advisement report, we see a couple of important information here on the first page. So at the top, you're going to see your program of study. And if it says not satisfied in red, we know that there are courses and requirements remaining that still need to be fulfilled. So as we scroll down, you're going to see the VA Transfer Passport. It's an optional program here, so it's always at the top of your advisement report. I recommend that you kind of skip over that section. That's a great program if you don't know what you're doing, you don't know what you want to study, but if you're here and listening to this and are looking at your advisement report, the likelihood is that you already do know what you want to study and you are already in a program of study, which means that we can scroll down to those specific requirements. So when you see your program of study listed, for example, business administration, then that's where we're kind of going to start looking at the information. So first thing we want to look at is, are we in the right program? So does this read correctly? Are you in the business administration program? If yes, awesome, we can keep using this information. If you notice that you are listed in a different program than the one you plan to be completing, or you've changed your mind and you realize you haven't updated it in SIS, please come talk to us in advising. You can visit campus advising. You can also log into virtual advising, either our live chat or our virtual lobby, and we can help you change that to the correct program so that this information reads correctly. So the next thing we want to look at is your catalog year. So every year, the program requirements can change, but you are only required to complete the program requirements that you start with, so that way you're not constantly changing the requirements. Your requirements will always stay the same as to what they are when you started. So this student started with the 24-25 catalog, so they're a fairly new student, but they'll continue with those 24-25 requirements through their whole time at Nova working on this program. So we can see that this student also, or we see that this program requires 60 credits and that this student has 4 credits used, which leaves 56 credits needed. So when we say used and needed, keep in mind that any classes you're currently enrolled in, that would be if you're enrolled in classes that are currently going on for spring, if you've already enrolled in summer classes, soon we'll start enrolling in fall classes and those will show up as well. All of those are taken into consideration in this report. So those summer classes you'll see here are already showing up, even though it's only March and the student hasn't actually started those classes. So those are all already included in that total. So it's just an important thing to note. Now, when we look at the advisement report, the first thing we're going to see are we're going to start seeing our program requirements. So classes that are required for this degree. So if you are currently taking that course or you've enrolled in the course, it's going to show up and populate under that requirement. So for example, you see here SDV, so this program requires SDV 100, and the student is currently enrolled in that for the summer. So that's checking that box. But we see the next requirement, we're going to scroll down a little bit, is for English 111. And we see that English 111 has red because it says 3 credits required, 0 used, 3 needed. That means the student has not taken English 111 and they have not signed up for English 111, so that's a requirement they still need. So you'll see all of the degree requirements listed here, and as we scroll down, we can kind of double check and we see, okay, the student is already enrolled in Business 100. So they have Business 100 on their schedule for summer, and so that requirement is now no longer showing in red, it's only showing in black. Some more important information to note as we scroll down, and we see all of the program requirements. We see the Humanities and Fine Arts section. For most of NOVA's programs, you are required to take 1 and sometimes 2 Humanities and Fine Arts requirement. This is an important category to note because for a lot of our programs, the 2 classes must be from 2 different sections of humanities. So this can be a little bit confusing on the advisement report on what you need to complete. So you'll see there, first of all, it says 6 credits required, 0 used, 6 needed, which means that you need to take 2 3-credit classes from this section. You have 3 categories to choose from. So the art category, which is listed first, and includes classes like art appreciation, film and studies, music appreciation, are all listed there. So if you choose one of the art classes, then for your second humanities class, you're going to choose something from one of the other 2 categories. The second category is humanities, and this includes world languages on the 200 level, philosophy, and religion classes. The third category you can choose from is the literature category, and that includes our 200 level literature classes, which are also all listed there. So just kind of keep in mind that for that category, you're going to choose 2 out of the 3 from the 3 categories or the 3 subcategories. Now, as we scroll on down, we will see a couple of important things. Number 1, you're going to see the cumulative GPA. So when we want to make sure that our GPA is staying high for transfer or for graduation purposes, and this is a great place where you can check your cumulative GPA and your planned GPA. Your planned GPA is only going to take into account classes that are part of that program, and your cumulative GPA will take into account anything you've taken at NOVA. The next thing you'll see is unused courses. So this student has 0 unused courses, which is excellent because that means all the classes they are taking or have signed up for are part of their degree program, so they're right on track. If you have enrolled in courses and they show up under unused courses, that means something is not quite right. Either you're not in the right program or you haven't signed up for the right courses, and you probably need to speak with advising so we can take a look and see what's going on. Something to note is that financial aid will not pay for classes that are not part of your program. So we want to make sure that you're in the right program and that you're taking the right classes towards your goals. Then you see just a general course history. So all of the classes you have taken or have enrolled in are going to show up there. And it's just kind of a nice place to check and just see, double check everything you've enrolled in. We hope this has been helpful and has given you some good information on how to use your advisement report. Your advisement report is a tool that will update automatically when you sign up for classes. So as you enroll in your classes for the next upcoming semester, go back in and double check and make sure everything is lining up the way you think it is. And if you have any issues, always come and talk to us in advising. We're happy to help. Have a great day.